guy who's interested in climate change, you have a button here that says, I'm a climate voter. So I thought that might be a good topic. Are you enjoying first of all, are you enjoying the convention so far?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Great. And I take it from your t-shirt that you are a Bernie supporter, right?
Yep.
And climate change, he said that was the most important issue.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. Should the government protect us against climate change?
Well, we need to protect ourselves against climate change. So climate change is happening right now as we speak, and it's at a critical level. It's an emergency that we take care of things.
But we don't need the government to do anything?
Yeah, we do. We need the government. We need we the people to step in and do everything we can to keep it from continuing, number one. And then secondly, to mitigate all the problems that have resulted from it already.
Okay, so if the average temperature of the world went down, would that be considered climate change?
You mean, well, it's already quite hot.
Right, so but let's say it went down a couple of degrees, would that be considered climate change?
Sure.
But would you like the government to protect us against that kind of climate change?
No, we're in the opposite world right now.
Right. So you want the government to protect us against global warming.
That's right.
Not really climate change.
Well, the issue is that climate change is in the wrong direction, and it's getting to a critical level in the direction of heating, of global warming.
So you don't want the government to protect us against all climate change. It's a certain kind of climate change which we used to call global warming. Remember? Why did they change the name of this issue from global warming to climate change?
Climate change makes it more inclusive. So you have the action of global warming that then creates various climate situations. So when it's excessively cold in some areas that they're not used to, that's a change, but it's not a warming change in that one area.
But so you don't want the government to protect us against some climate change, like we just discussed. If the temperature went down 2 degrees, you'd be happy with it, right?
I'd be happy if we weren't warming as quickly, and if we cool down a little, sure, I'd be happy with that.
So you don't want the government to protect us against that kind of climate change. So there are some climate change you're in favor of, and other climate change you're against.
Yeah.
So isn't it a misnomer to call this issue climate change when in fact the thing that's really worrying you is global warming?
No, because like I said before, the action of the warming of the globe is creating climate disturbances and climate changes around the world. And those, like for example, we have drought in one area as a result of global warming. Okay, most people can accept that. It's hotter, it's dry. But we also have excessive rainfall and more hurricane action and tornado action. Those are not immediately thought of as a warming situation. So if you have flooding, you have loss of coastal land, that kind of thing, it's not thought of as a warming per se. Those are various negative aspects of climate change. I guess we could say I want the government to protect us. I want us to work out solutions that protect us against the negative aspects of climate change. That's already a mouthful.
You want some changes in laws. You don't want just the individual voluntary action. Right?
That's right.
So you're worried that there's too much CO2 in the atmosphere, correct?
Correct.
How much CO2 is in the atmosphere? What percentage of the atmosphere is CO2?
I don't know that number offhand, but I know it's too much.
So how do you know it's too much if you don't know how much it is?
I know it's too much. I know that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: is it more or less 20% or 10%? What? You don't have any ballpark figure?
No, I don't.
Could it be like 5%?
I don't know what the percent number is. I'm not a climate scientist. I'm not a climate expert. What I know is that we've had successively warmer and warmer and warmer, climate temperatures globally, and that created climate change. So that's all I need to know as a concerned citizen and an activist.
Well, which greenhouse gas is most prevalent in the atmosphere?
I don't know.
Well, first let's establish how much CO2 is in the atmosphere, because I was pretty surprised when I looked it up. You know how much it is? It's 1/25th of 1%. So it's less than 0.5%. It's less than 1/10%. It's less than 1/20%. It's 1/25th. That is such a small number. Now, you know which gas is much more prevalent? 50 times more?
Is it methane?
No.
What